I have something good right here. I have a pretty darn rare Game Boy, I'd say. But it's not like, I don't know exactly how many they sold, but it's pretty rare. And what I mean by that, I had the Game Boy Light, and mine's not in that good condition. I got it for Christmas. It's kind of scratched up. I mean, it's a good bit scratched up. It works. Yeah. Well, anyways, if you don't know what the Game Boy Light is, it's basically it was released right after the Game Boy Pocket, which was the second version of the Game Boy. But it was released like the same year as the Game Boy Color, which was released in '98. It was released like a few months before. And this is only in Japan though, so it's kind of rare, pretty rare actually. And the fact that they discontinued it right around at a good bit after the Game Boy Color came out makes it even more rare. Like it was just people didn't want it. They just wanted the people did want it, but as soon as they saw the Game Boy Color, they just went right to that. Why they didn't put a backlight onto a Game Boy Color like they did with this, I don't know. But I guess to keep the cost down. But anyways, the difference between this and a Pocket is the fact that one thing, besides the major thing, it takes double A's instead of triple A's, which is a plus. Also has these little ridges and it's slightly bigger. It says Game Boy Light on it. And the main thing, it has a backlight. See, the speaker's not that loud. I have to turn it up all the way. And the good thing about Game Boys is that they're backwards compatible with anything. Like, they're not region coded. Like, they're backwards compatible. Well, not backwards compatible, but they can play any Game Boy game, except for Game Boy Color games, of course, but just any Game Boy game. They're not region coded. I don't know why other consoles didn't do that, but the Game Boy was one of those that didn't. I'd say the first one in a long time to not be region coded is the PS4 and the Xbox One. So, anyways, let me see some gameplay. And I might just use an external speaker, but just to show you how loud the thing is, I'll just show you this. I'll just see it's an American copy. Like you see, like you might be able to see it. I know you can't see it. It's out of focus. It's the U.S. It's the American release. See, it's not a PAL one. It's just it's the NTSC one. Okay, so yeah, so you can play Japanese games, of course. You can play Japanese ones on the American ones, so. See? And I might show you the sound comparison after this, but I'll just show you what the speaker's like first. Just wanted to get that out of the way, because I want to use an external speaker with this. It's not that loud. Not that loud. But anyways, I'll show you the comparison between them. Here's it compared to a Game Boy Pocket. Like, if you tell, it's not that much thicker, so it's just a little bit thicker, because it uses double A's, of course. The screen, I think, is actually about this bigger, actually. Yeah, they're about the same size. I think the Game Boy Pocket... No, the Game Boy Light, they're both about the same. You see the buttons are more like the Game Boy Color ones. See, like they're indented instead of just having letters right there. So yeah, since it also uses AA batteries, it's also a little bit taller. I don't know how I'm gonna get this thing to stand up, but you have to trust me on this. It's a good bit longer. See, here it is compared to a Game Boy Color. See, it's a little bit longer. See, it's more square. This is more comfortable to hold, and you can tell this one's just more round than the Game Boy Light. And of course, the back of it's different, of course. And I'll show it to you. And here it is compared to a regular Game Boy. Well, a Game Boy that I've completely destroyed by accident. Well, it's been destroyed. Sorry. So yeah, see, no comparison needed. It's just way smaller, of course. It's like comparing anything to a Game Boy. Well, except for a Game Gear or something else, which are way bigger than this, surprisingly. So anyways, let's show you. I'll put the external speaker on there, which, like what the sound you're listening to here now, like it's coming from the Game Boy, but it's going to an external speaker because it's really hard to hear. And I've watched my reviews and they're very quiet. I mean, my voice is not, but the sounds from the thing itself. So I'll be using I'll be using a little mono speaker, just so you can hear it better. See, so don't think that thing is loud. It's not. It's far from loud. So yeah, let's just play some games on it. First, let's play Tetris. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn on that speaker. Silly me. There we go. Now it's turned on. Yeah, it's turned on now. Okay, sorry. And yeah, you see it kind of get black around. It's because when you focus it with the bright light on it, it gets kind of dark around it. But okay, let's play it. So you hear that speaker right there? Yeah, it's kind of loud. May it damage it? I don't know. Now you can hear it better. So yeah, I don't know how that's coming out because it's like, see, yeah, you can see it's a backlight because of like, see if you can play it without a backlight actually. Well, okay, yeah, I don't know. Whoever had this before me must have damaged it pretty badly because see, that's what it out with the backlight, and then you can turn it on. And really, it's kind of green on here. It looks kind of blue, but it's actually kind of green. It's not too bad though. Yeah. But let's see. Let's play another game on it just to see other things. I gotta get like a tripod because this is terrible for that. Let's play Pokemon on it. A cult classic. Probably the biggest cult classic on there. Also, of course, like any other Game Boy, it gets really good battery life. Even with the light on, this thing gets about like 15 hours. God, man, this thing is not gonna get it. I don't know how well you can see that. Probably not very well. It's a blue version. Makes sense because the screen's kind of blue. I'm about to show it to you just like this. This would be much easier. I don't have a tripod, so sorry. I'm like, oh yeah, you need to get a tripod, but this is much easier because it'll be much easier to see it. See, it has a backlight screen, basically. Just imagine a Game Boy, like a Game Boy Pocket with a backlight screen. That's basically what it is. And this is what happens if you try to put a Game Boy Color game into a non-compatible game, into a Game Boy Pocket, or a Game Boy Light, but pretty much all applies. Let me just put this right here, and you should see this. Just put that down. Okay, now when you put a Game Boy Color game in there, well, okay, first you gotta turn on. That's hard, it's just a little shaky. It's gonna pop up. Oh! See, it's just a design only for the Game Boy Color, even though you can play it on the advanced on emulators if you're that stupid. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, basically, I guess that's about it. I mean, like, it's backwards compatible. I mean, you can play any original Game Boy game on there. Anything that's not for Game Boy Color, and of course not for an advanced, you can play on there. But we gotta warn you though, I mean, I got this for pretty cheap. I mean, I got this for like $70. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but for a Game Boy Light, that's actually, I mean, it's an okay deal, I guess. Even though mine's pretty damaged and it doesn't always want to work, because the battery doesn't always want to stand, but, you can go for like $300. If you get them in boxes, they'll go way past that. So yeah, I mean, if you want to pay the money, I'd say it's pretty cool to have, but honestly, I'd say just go get the Game Boy Advance SP, because it's probably more fun to play in color, because that's what most people are. But for nostalgic reasons, you probably want to, if you want to play in black and white, but you don't feel like modding anything, I'd say then get this. Well, anyways, that's all I have to say about it. I guess I could see I'll see you guys later next time when I review something else. Bye.